Okay, I'm just going to try to paint the picture to get the general idea across. You see we're coming by the kitchen garden, and then this path here will be the access to the back of the chicken coop. You see where we are off the garden. So here is where the access to the nesting boxes for the egg collection on a daily basis. This side of the coop here will have the upper part where you pull down so you can clean out the coop. Underneath the elevated coop is where we go supply water and nutritional supplements. Out the front of the coop, where the ramp comes down, this is where the innovation happens. So this entire area will be divided into three basically trapezoidal sections, but three independent runs, chicken runs. And each of the three will be in a different phase at any given point. So for example, say this middle run is what the chickens are using on a daily basis, scratching, pecking, eating everything. Ultimately this you become raw dirt. This run here will be in the compost phase. So we'll be running compost, developing compost here. Chickens will be alternated between the main run and the compost run at strategic times to get their help with the compost. The third run would be in the rebuilding phase, where we're growing ground cover crop like comfrey or anything that will grow back here that the chickens want to eat. So that's recovery growing. So when the chickens are done with the one run, they'll move into the run that's been recovering. The run they're leaving becomes the compost run, and what was happening, the compost run, is now becoming recovery run, and that's where we're planting the cover crops for them to move into next. So that's the rotation between the three different runs. On the end of each run, let's see if we can just run it out here. Each of the three runs will have approximately a 6-foot wide opening into the lower meadow or to the grass area. So as to whatever degree we integrate, utilize free ranging, probably use poultry netting to make a circle out here whenever we want to run the chickens out here. Basically you just use the poultry netting. You can electrify it if you're going to leave it outside for predators. The chickens don't need the electricity, but they just, if they see it, they won't challenge it. But then, so each of the three runs will have their own access into this area. So while they're in the runs, we can free range them at any moment. And I imagine that will become a habit thing where periodically we'll run them out and back in. So yeah, I think the innovative idea is the three different runs, running the three runs through different phases. A lot of people are using chickens in compost and in different ways. People are free ranging in different ways, but I think this is a really flexible system where we can have a really efficient system for building compost, and part of the feeding them in rotating in recovery time for the three runs. That's the idea of that, is, among other things, to reduce feeding cost, right? So the more we can just grow for the chickens to eat, the less we have to buy. We don't really, So anyway, that's the idea. We'll see.